Hello, dear friends, with you Naya. Have you ever wondered what happens to Steve after he dies? For you, from the moment of the character's death to his rebirth, the time passes exactly as long as it takes to press the button. But how long can this time last for the character himself? Intriguing. Do you want to know the answer to this question? Until now, we could only speculate on this topic, but now we have the opportunity to find out for sure. And all this is thanks to the Dissolution fashion, which could be translated into Russian as dissolution, disintegration, or, if closer to the point, then departure to another world. When you install this mod and log into the game for the first time, a message will pop up in the chat bar. You will be asked to choose the state of your gaming soul. At the moment, there are two of them in fashion: a strong and a weak one. Literally, the dialogue looks like this. Greetings, mortal. Is your soul strong or weak? In response, two choices are offered. The first of them, of course, she is strong. Give me any tests and you'll see. And the second one, not really. I prefer to live and die the old-fashioned way. You need to click on one of these options. If you choose the second one, nothing will change. If the first one, then it will be possible to experience for yourself everything that happens to our character after his death, and unravel the mystery of the otherworldly magical world. Therefore, of course, I choose the option of a strong soul. Since this mod does not change the character's normal life, but only affects the part that happens after death, accordingly, I will have to commit suicide. There are plenty of ways at our disposal, but in order not to waste time, I have already prepared everything. After we die, we are not reborn immediately, but our soul leaves the body exactly in the place where we died. Look, we lose the scale of health and hunger, and no monsters can see us and cannot cause harm. Accordingly, we are immortal and we can fly. But it's too early to rejoice, because we see so-so, and we can't interact with objects at all. That is, we do not take anything in our hands, and do not break any blocks. We are a disembodied spirit. If we play on the server, then only players who have chosen the same state of mind can see us. For them, we will be like these translucent ghosts. We can pass through transparent and incomplete blocks, double-glazed windows, fences, semi-blocks, grilles, stairs, and the like. Closed doors are not a hindrance to us either, but, oddly enough, we cannot pass through a closed gate. And we are also given the ability to inhabit the undead. That is, they will be possessed by us. You can move into zombies, skeletons and dryers, piggies, Zymogarav, and the like. It is in their body that it is possible to interact with the outside world. Moreover, the strengths of our obsessive are transmitted to us. For example, a desiccant will impose drying effects. It does not burn in fire. Lava does not affect it. Zombies will also apply their usual effects. And while you are in the body of the undead, all other undead will be neutral to you. Besides, the dead don't need food. They all lack a food scale. Accordingly, you will not have to be distracted by the search for food. But it's too early to rejoice. The undead have their very big drawbacks. The first main one is that their health is not restored. In addition, monsters that are not undead will still attack you. For example, the same creepers and spiders. Having moved into a zombie, you get its slowness as a bonus. In addition, it is very difficult for the undead to overcome flowing water, and in standing water, they slow down a lot. Who cares why zombies are so stupid around spilled water? Here's a chance for you to experience it for yourself. And also, being a zombie or a skeleton, you will burn in the sun. But nevertheless, a body is a body, even if it is dead. As long as your soul is warm in him, you have a chance to bring him back to life and become normal. Although, If this body of yours dies, it doesn't matter much. You can find yourself a new walking corpse. To regain your life, you need to walk through the woods and look for these pink lights, which are called femi in the original, but in fact, they are clumps of energy. You need to find 3 of these pieces and come close to them. If your character is alive, they impose a regeneration effect on you, but only if you have chosen a strong soul. If your soul is weak, then nothing will happen. Being in the body of the undead, you will get a cleansing effect from them. When you are completely cleansed, you will become alive again. It's not so easy to find these things because they sleep during the day and always in forest biomes, but if they have already appeared, they will not disappear at night. When these pink balls heal you, they give you their energy, and they weaken themselves. Therefore, you will not be able to use the same fairy in a row. You'll either have to find a new one or wait for it to recover. But it's not fast, and there is a chance to lose it, or that it weakens completely and disappears. To avoid this, you need to craft a glass jar and plant this pink clot of energy there. Crafting cans is very simple. Tired lights jump into the jar themselves and with pleasure, and sometimes you need to run after the whole ones and click on the light with an empty jar. But in no case do not put the jar with the fairy on the floor. The jar is put, but the light disappears from it. Apparently this is the tank of the game. Keep in mind that tired lights are not restored in the bank, but only preserved. But you can, when it's convenient for you, release them somewhere near the trees and graze. You don't have to stand close to them, because they will try to jump back into the jar, or they will waste their energy on you. If you see that the lights are fading, just put them back in the jar, and they will regain the state of the usual weak light, after which you can try to walk them again. Sooner or later, in this way, they will recover to a charged light. Keep in mind that there is a chance that your energy cluster will fly away, but you can't fly in survival mode. In addition to these pink clumps of energy, there are also blue ones like this, and these spawn at night, usually in swamps or in magic-type biomes. The developer writes that at the moment, their only purpose is to serve as a trigger for that very initial dialogue with the choice of soul power. That is, if at the beginning of the game, you decided to die and be reborn in the usual way, and later changed your mind, then not everything is lost for you. You need to craft an altar like this and click on it with a jar with this blue light. In fact, you can click a jar with any light, even weakened, but personally I feel sorry to waste pink lights on this. The developer plans to make more types of soul states and more uses for blue lights in the future. But that's all in the project so far. Being in a state of undead, you may be interested in a couple more items that add the Dissolution mod. First of all, it's a coffin. There are 3 types of them: wooden, stone, and obsidian. Crafts exist so far only for the first 2 of them. Whether it is possible to find a third one in the game, I can't say for sure. If you managed to find it on the map in survival mode, share the secret in the comments. The coffin is the same bed, only for the undead. You can skip the day by clicking on the coffin. Unfortunately, she doesn't have animation yet, but it doesn't matter. The main thing is that everything functions. There are also 2 types of braids: ordinary iron and this one, which is called hidden or hidden. The usual craft is like this, but this second craft does not have it yet, again. To be honest, neither one nor the second impressed me as a weapon, because it is very slow and the damage from them is so-so. But both look quite impressive. So far, this is their only advantage. Let's hope that this will be corrected in the future. And there are a couple more points that I just have to mention. The first is that, oddly enough, but in the body of the undead, you cannot pass through the portal. However, this is not an obstacle for your soul. You can walk through portals, at least hellish ones. Ender portals, I honestly admit, did not check. If you died in hell, then the only way for you to get out of there is to find the portal through which you got there. If for some reason it went out, then the bodies of the local hellish undead will help you. Look for fortresses, search chests, and there is a chance to find a lighter, or at least an ingot of iron there, since there are plenty of loot in hell in the new versions. And the second thing I want to warn you about is that there are some buggies in the game. They are mainly related to the creative mode, and the author of the mod is aware of their existence. In future versions, he will probably correct them. However, despite the drawbacks, the mod is quite playable. The idea is very original, and its implementation is very noteworthy. I'm not sure that everyone will run right away to put it on their assemblies, because the mod is still relatively hardcore, but it will be interesting for many to play with it for a while. It will also fit very well into all sorts of thematic assemblies, for example, with a vampire or necromancer theme. Well, that's probably all I wanted to tell you about this fashion. As always, you will find a link to it in the description under the video. If you liked my review, put your fingers up. Of course, subscribe if you haven't signed yet. I will be glad of your comments and advice. Write about what mods you would like to hear from me. That's it for today. May your souls always be strong. See you soon. Bye-bye.